Welcome to the Counter Press. Transfer updates, like I said, there's a lot of updates now. Thank you very much for choosing us here on the Counter Press. My name again still remains Fiifi-Manfred, and I'm grateful to have you here. So please do all to like, subscribe, and share. Click on the notification button. I want you to get notifications as and when the videos drop. Click on the notification button now. Please do pause the video, click on the notification button, subscribe, and share. This is the Counter Press. In today's edition of the Counter Press, I want to let you know where Chelsea are with its transfer target. Already, Chelsea have lost Manuel Ugarte. There is a need to augment that Chelsea midfield. Now, let's start it like this. Mauricio Pochettino loves to play in a 4-2-3-1. So what that means is that there is a need for two double sixes. And one can be a 6, one can play as an 8. It's a matter of roles and what exactly they're supposed to do on the pitch. But essentially, you need two sitting midfielders. You need two midfielders. One will sit as and when they have the ball. One was going to stay, push up, and get a job done. Enzo Fernandez is likely to be the most ball dominant of the two midfielders. He will push up the field, come inverted, stay in central areas, and create for Chelsea Football Club from deep areas. There's a possibility of getting a destroyer who is also fairly balanced on the ball, who can pick the ball and then push up forward. Sometimes this person is supposed to be press resistant and being a progressive carrier. So Chelsea went to Paris Saint-Germain in a bid to get Manuel Ugarte. But Ugarte didn't all go through for reasons best known to Chelsea, Paris Saint-Germain, and of course, Sporting CP. Ugarte landed up in Paris Saint-Germain. The next person on the list is Moise Caicedo. And this is the update. So Moise Caicedo comes from Santo Domingo in Ecuador. Santo Domingo is a place in Ecuador where it's a poor place. People over there are below the middle belt, the middle income levels of Ecuador. And Ecuador in itself is a country where things are not at its best. So he's from a family of 10, where he is the 10th. So you can imagine. And in this family, he's one of the he's the one that's been able to get to this level in terms of life and what it gives you. So Moise Caicedo has always wanted to play for Chelsea Football Club. His manager Diego had spoken about it extensively, whilst he had always wanted to choose Chelsea Football Club. You might remind you that in January there was a possibility of him making the move, but Brighton, Tony Bloom decided not to sell him. They gave him a contract extension, and then in that contract extension was enshrined that if a better offer comes, they are never going to stand in his way. Moise Caicedo is a player that's going to probably be the player that's going to be on the side of Enzo Fernandez in a bid that he is going to do a lot of the dirty works and an off-the-ball job for Chelsea Football Club. For Enzo Fernandez to be able to push up, then he screens in front of the back four. But there's a bigger problem. The bigger problem is that Chelsea are going to lack in squad depth because Matthew Kovacic is gone. Mason Mount is gone. Jorginho is gone. And especially for Matthew Kovacic, I have personally said that he's 29 years old, hasn't played a lot of the games. He's not as durable as you want him to be. There's a lot of workload at Chelsea. His ceiling seems to have gotten to its limit. And then the fact that Chelsea needs much more steel under Mauricio Pochettino. You need players with much more aggression, much more combativeness. A player that is able to exert himself or herself in the game than just somebody who has a very good technical ability. Yes, Kovacic is a wonderful player technically, but sometimes you need much more than just technical ability from a player. So that's the update with Matthew Kovacic. He is going to Manchester City. The bigger issue is how do Chelsea land Moise Caicedo? Personal terms have already been agreed with Chelsea Football Club, and it has been widely reported that personal terms have been agreed. Caicedo is a wonderful number 8 on and off the ball. The problem I think Chelsea are going to get, and this is exclusive, you don't get it anywhere. In Chelsea's books, Chelsea do not want to make any other buy in June. Mind you, the financial year for the 2022-2023 season is ending at the end of June, at the end of 30th June. So what Chelsea is planning on doing is that they do not want to make any buy in June, unless it is largely necessary, like the Nicholas Jackson deal. And even with that, the agreement has been had in principle. Everything is done, but payment may be made in July. So Chelsea have been Very, very critical. They don't want to add a lot more money to it. They want to get the money from Saudi Arabia, from Manchester City, from Man United, from Arsenal put together and probably break even or get some profits. Then they start the 2023-2024 season on a clean slate in July 2023. Then they can get a job done. So this is where the little problem is. Manchester City have entered a race for Declan Rice. And you see, when Man City are in a race, you are torn between either going to Arsenal or going to Manchester City. Man City is an already winning machine. It's already oiled machine. It's a machine where it's winning, which has a lot of technical players. There is Rodri, there is John Stones, there is Calvin Phillips, who possibly can play in the same role. Yes, Rodri can play as an attacking Rice can play as an attacking 8, but that midfield is stacked because there's Mateo Kovacic also who has been added to it. There's Bernardo Silva who is still in there, and that's the thing. At Arsenal, Rodri probably gets to be a mainstay, a big boy in that Arsenal team and has everything that go around him. But if Man City gets Declan Rice, now it means that the battle for a DM goes straight to Moise Caicedo. Are Chelsea going to get Moise Caicedo or Arsenal going to get Moise Caicedo? That is the bigger question. Now Chelsea would have to push either through wages or to get the job done now. And now they don't want to do that. They want to wait till July. And time and the clock is ticking. Chelsea needs to get that done now. Also, whilst that is being said, Arsenal have Champions League football. Chelsea do not have Champions League football. The biggest issue, however, in this is how do Chelsea convince Moise Caicedo that Chelsea has a wonderful project and he needs to be part of it for the long term? Also, how do Chelsea convince Moise Caicedo that most of those players who were at Chelsea Football Club are wanting out, but he has to come in to get a job done? The bigger issue, however, is that, mind you, he comes from a family of 10 where he needs to go back and feed home. The question of wages. Chelsea have one of the lowest wage structures as it stands now because their wage is tied to performance. It's a performance enhancing wage and it is based on whether they play Champions League football or not. They are not playing this season. So it means that Moise Caicedo is not going to get a whooping sum of money for wage. And I'm sure Arsenal will offer more. Man City may offer more. Man United may even offer more if they get into the conversation. Chelsea needs to get a job done. The ball is in its court. They need to get a job done. Because if you don't, then the question is, how are you going to get him? After Moise Caicedo, there's probably Roman Lavia who is also in there, but he's younger. Chelsea wants an imposing personality. Also, what Moise Caicedo helps with Chelsea Football Club, what he adds to it, another one is the fact that Enzo Fernandez is also a South American. Now it's going to be easy for them to grow together because they probably have generally the same continental culture. They probably listen to the same music on the continent. They are literally see themselves as the same people in a foreign man's land. So they have some things in common to get a job done with an Argentine manager in Mauricio Pochettino. So Chelsea really needs to get Moise Caicedo done. And if they don't, it is going to be a battle of war. And I know that Brighton would want a tug of war between the teams. So yeah, that's today's edition of the Counter Press. Thank you very much for joining. Please do like, subscribe, and share. Please. My name again is Fiifi-Manfred. Thank you. Bye.